It was just after 8 p.m. on a freezing Friday night in downtown Chicago. Outside, icy rain pounded the sidewalks while people hurried home with their coats pulled tightly around them. Inside Harper's Grill, the atmosphere couldn't have been more different. Warm lights glowed above polished wooden tables. The smell of sizzling steaks and fresh bread filled the air. Families celebrated birthdays, couples laughed over dinner, and office workers relaxed after another exhausting week. Emily Carter, a 27-year-old waitress, rushed from table to table with her usual smile. Her shift had already lasted 11 hours. Her feet hurt. Her back ached. But she still believed every customer deserved kindness. Then the restaurant door slowly opened. A cold gust of wind swept through the dining room. Every conversation seemed to pause. An older man stepped inside wearing a soaked brown jacket that looked years old. His beard was untrimmed, his shoes were torn, and rain dripped from his sleeves onto the floor. Several customers immediately looked away. One teenager quietly laughed. Another customer whispered, "I hope he isn't asking for money." The man lowered his head and quietly walked toward the smallest booth near the window. Emily picked up a menu and approached him. "Good evening, sir. My name is Emily. I'll be taking care of you tonight." The man forced a weak smile. "Thank you." She noticed something unusual. His hands shook as he reached for the menu. Not from the cold. From hunger. After almost 2 minutes of staring at the menu, he looked embarrassed. "I'll just have a black coffee, please." Emily glanced at the menu. "Coffee. $2. Nothing else?" She gently asked. "Are you sure? Our chicken soup is really good tonight." He smiled sadly. "Maybe another time." Emily understood immediately. He wasn't saving room for dinner. He simply couldn't afford it. Without saying another word, she walked to the kitchen. 5 minutes later she returned carrying a large tray. Fresh chicken soup. Roasted chicken. Mashed potatoes. Warm buttered rolls. And a slice of homemade apple pie. The man's eyes widened. I think you've brought the wrong order." Emily placed every plate in front of him. "No, sir. There has to be some mistake." "There isn't. But I only ordered coffee." "I know. I can't pay for all this." Emily smiled softly. "You don't have to." The man stared at her in complete silence. "Why would you do this for someone you don't even know?" Emily looked at him for a moment before answering. "Because 3 years ago, someone showed my family the same kindness when we had nothing." The man couldn't speak. Tears slowly filled his eyes. Before taking his first bite, he quietly whispered, "You may never realize what you've done for me tonight." Emily smiled politely and returned to serving her other tables. She had no idea. Those words would come back to change her life forever. The restaurant closed an hour later. As Emily wiped down the last table, she noticed the booth where the old man had been sitting. His coffee cup was empty. His dinner plates were spotless. But there was something folded beneath the napkin. It wasn't money. It was a handwritten note. Emily carefully unfolded it. "You didn't just feed a hungry man tonight. You reminded him that kindness still exists. Thank you for seeing a person when everyone else only saw a problem." There was no name. No phone number. Nothing else. Emily smiled, slipped the note into her apron pocket, and drove home. Over the next 3 years, life wasn't easy. Her mother became seriously ill. Medical bills piled up. Emily worked double shifts, sometimes 6 days a week. Even when she was exhausted, she never forgot that rainy night. Whenever she saw someone struggling, she remembered the stranger's words. Then, on another cold Friday evening, something unusual happened. A sleek black SUV pulled up outside Harper's Grill. A well-dressed man stepped out, followed by 2 assistants carrying leather briefcases. The entire restaurant turned to look. The man confidently walked inside. The manager rushed forward. "Good evening, sir. Welcome to Harper's Grill." The visitor smiled politely. "I'm looking for someone." "Of course. Who is it?" "A waitress named Emily Carter." Emily looked up from across the dining room. She had never seen the man before. He walked toward her with a warm smile. "Emily?" "Yes?" "I don't expect you to recognize me." She looked at him, confused. "I'm sorry, have we met?" The man laughed softly. 3 years ago. I walked into this restaurant wearing a soaked brown jacket and ordered nothing but a cup of black coffee." Emily froze. Her eyes widened. It was you?" He nodded. "Yes." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Finally, he reached into his briefcase and placed the same handwritten note on the table. "I've kept a copy of this ever since that night." Emily felt tears forming in her eyes. "I never forgot you," he said quietly. "Because that meal saved far more than my life that evening." He paused before continuing. "That night, I had already decided it would be my last. I had lost my business, my home, and my family. I believed no one cared whether I lived or died." He looked directly into her eyes. "But one act of kindness proved me wrong." Emily covered her mouth, overwhelmed. The man smiled. "And that's why I'm here today, not just to thank you." He slowly opened the second briefcase. Inside was something Emily never imagined she would see.